So this video is going to be how to get started with combat robots. You want to start small. This week I built 3 150-gram robots, took them to a local combat event, and I'll walk you through that, and I'll also give away one of these 3 robots somewhere in the middle of the video. First, you need to find an event. Start with Builders Database, link below. If there's nothing there, check out the Facebook groups. Here are a couple. Next, electronics. I've got a whole YouTube video on that, link below. Here's the transmitter and receiver I use, here's the speed controller I use, and then I typically use N20 gear motors. You can buy them in a ton of different gear ratios. Oh, and I usually use 2-cell LiPos with the JST connector. And finally, CAD. So if you want to just build a robot out of foam, you don't need CAD at all. I've got a link below for how to make the Crave Monster. But if you want to design a chassis to 3D print, I recommend Fusion 360. It is free for personal use. And the STL files for all 3 robots I'm building today are uploaded to Thingiverse. If you just want to download one of them as a starting point, you can do that. Although these aren't super competitive robots, so maybe wait to see how they did in the event before doing that. So with all that out of the way, let's introduce the robots. First up is Captain Googly, which I made for one of my friend's kids to drive. This is the simplest configuration of robot, where there's 2 brushed motors going into a 2-channel speed controller and nothing else, just 2 wheels and no weapon. And the drive is very much inspired by Taco Tuesday. So it's got one wheel that pulls it forward, and then it's got a second wheel which makes it turn. Not controllable, but definitely hilarious. Next is the 120-gram Taco Tuesday. Because the battery and speed controllers and motors that I used are really for ant weights, I was overweight and was not able to add a spinner to this. So it's just got this little hammer thing, not going to do anything, but still pretty funny. Next up, a robot I never even bothered to name. It's a lifter. If you build one of these 3 robots as like a starting point, this is probably the one to start with. Just because the 2-wheel drive tank steer is like a more practical drive layout for sure. So I built these 3 in like a day and a half, mostly for friends and other random people to drive them. Now let's see some fights. First up, Captain Googly faced what looks like an RC car with some metal glued onto it. If you're a kid and want to enter one of these competitions and don't really have any money, this is a good approach. Just grab an RC car and throw something on. Most of these small-scale events, like 150 grams, will let you in even if you don't have like a normal radio receiver and all that. And Captain Googly's second fight goes similar, with kind of a total lack of control. Although somehow it takes the win. And on to its 3rd fight against a control bot.
Too wide!
This design has no offense or defense, so...
Oh yeah.
We have 2 minutes left. 1 minute until the pits come out. 1 minute until the pits come out. 45 seconds until the pits are removed.
And eventually the super durable paper sail bends just enough to keep it from self-righting. Here's some random slow-mo footage while we transition to the unnamed robot, which actually is going to be driven by Camden, driver of the Hockey Puck of Death and now driver for Team Gigabyte, as well as a new member of Team Taco. First up is a horizontal spinner, although the spinner dives pretty quickly, and it just becomes a shoving match, one that this design should win, but the plow is dragging on the floor, so it kind of has trouble driving forward, which is kind of important if you're going to be winning a shoving match. Somehow, though, this ends up being a win, even though that left wheel is barely hanging on. Next up is a beater bar robot called Void. In one of the first exchanges, the right lip of the wedge starts to get bent up, and once that happens, it's not able to get under Void, and slowly this really weak PLA chassis gets more and more damaged.
The needle has been inverted. Void showing really good sportsmanship has fixed him. 5, 4, 3, 2.
And this manages to go the distance to a truly nail-biting judge's decision. Alright, some more cool slow-mo footage while we wait for the rounds for my third and final robot, the 150-gram Taco Tuesday.
I am ready.
I start off with an evasive backflip, but unfortunately style points do not matter when you've used foaming PLA, one of the least dense and least durable 3D printing filaments there is.
Hit me again.
Thankfully, Splinter hits me again to flip the taco back over, and the fight continues.
Okay, we are calling this fight due to exposure.
Unfortunately, the battery is now exposed, so they have to call the fight, but the taco is still trucking. Alright, before we get into the Rumble, if you're located in the US and you want to get started into this hobby, but you don't have a robot, comment down below what you would name the pirate ship robot. With Captain Googly right now, comment an alternate name, and if you're located in the US, that'll be an entry. I'll choose a winner in like a week or so. I won't send the battery because I don't want to ship a battery, that's a fire risk, but I'll ship the robot and the controller, and it's not competitive, but it's a fun, good place to start, and I'll let you start to tinker or learn the electronics and then potentially move on from there. And with the matches out of the way, time for the Rumble.
There's a lot of excitement and not a lot of destruction. Captain Googly Eyes is winning. No one has managed to touch him. The implication is right side up and dealing some damage. You can hear his weapon from all the way outside the arena. We have small pieces of almost all the robots all over the arena. Captain Googly Eyes still going strong. Poker Face as well.
And my wheels are still spinning, so we're good.
Murder Mittens and Captain Googly Eyes appear to be stuck.
Thank you, Love.
The elongated one tries to take out Murder Mittens.
I'm not trying to. I am.
Big flip there. Poker Face stuck on his side. Captain Googly Eyes appears to be down.
Balance now. That's true. I think I lost my screw.
The implication has a weapon but is dead in the corner. We have one live weapon remaining.
I lost my balance. It's now balance. So it's not running. Doing now.
5, 4, 3, 2, the pits are out. Somebody hold that fire over there. Thanks, Alex. The pits are out. We have less than a minute remaining in the Combat Rumble. If you get near the implication, he will destroy you.
Oh, wait. My wheel.
There goes the round. That's what you get.
The elongated one has lost the wheel. Captain Googly Eyes is now getting destroyed. Poker Face is surviving the best out of all of our robots. 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
It's over the speed controller. It's not over the battery. I just like the lights in them kind of foggy. And it's not moving anymore.
15 seconds. Poker Face onside. Can you self-raise? Captain Googly Eyes.
I mean, to be fair, you can come here. Good, Dustin.
3, 2, 1. That is a match.
It looks like I'm going to need a 3D print a new chassis for this before sending it out for the giveaway.